Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation, just sharing a story or a thought, when suddenly the right word just disappears? It's right there on the tip of your tongue, but no matter how hard you try, it just won't come out. And in that awkward silence, you feel a little embarrassed, a little frustrated, maybe even a bit scared. I know that feeling all too well. A few years ago, I was telling a joke to a group of old friends, the kind of joke I told dozens of times. But halfway through, I blanked. The punchline, the names, even the setup, it all went fuzzy. I stumbled through it, chuckled it off, but deep down, something felt different. It wasn't just forgetfulness, it was as if my brain and my mouth weren't quite in sync anymore. That was the beginning of what I later realized was a form of speech fumbling, not a major health event, not a stroke or anything alarming, but a subtle shift. Words escaping me, sentences not flowing the way they used to, confidence starting to crack. And if you're over 60 and nodding along right now, trust me, you are not alone. Aging brings so many beautiful changes: wisdom, calmness, perspective, but it also brings challenges we don't talk about enough. Speech issues, especially the mild ones, often go unnoticed or brushed aside, but they actually matter. They affect how we express ourselves, how we connect with others, how we feel about our own minds. And the good news is you can adapt. In fact, you can thrive. I want to share how I did it, not through fancy treatments or complicated routines, but by shifting the way I thought, spoke, and lived each day. At first, I did what many of us do: I ignored it. I told myself it was just tiredness or too much going on or not enough coffee. But deep down, I felt a change. I started avoiding long conversations, dreading phone calls, even pulling back a little in social settings. I was afraid of fumbling, afraid of that awkward pause, or worse, someone looking at me with that mix of concern and pity. That was the hardest part, not the speech itself, but the way it made me feel. A little smaller, a little less sharp, a little old. But one evening, I was having tea with my granddaughter, and I paused in the middle of a sentence, trying to find the word envelope. After a few seconds, I just laughed and said, "You know, that thing you put a letter in?" She giggled and said, "Grandpa, you mean an envelope?" Just like that, no adjustment, no pity, just love. That moment changed everything for me. I realized I didn't have to be perfect, I just had to stay connected. That was the first step. Instead of hiding from my fumbling, I started facing it with a bit of humor and grace. If a word didn't come, I described it. If a sentence felt jumbled, I paused and restarted. The more I stopped doing about sounding flawless, the more confident I became. And surprisingly, the fumbling started to ease. Not overnight, but slowly. Next, I changed how I spoke. I used to talk quickly, rushing through my thoughts like I was on a deadline. But now I take my time. I slow down. I breathe between sentences. It might sound simple, but that small shift made a huge difference. Speaking more slowly helped me stay ahead of the words in my head, gave me space to think, and made me feel more in control. Conversations started to feel smoother, more intentional, and honestly, more enjoyable. I also started reading out each morning, just 5 or 10 minutes, a short article, a poem, a few pages from a book I loved. It was like giving my brain and mouth a daily tune up. At first, I stumbled here and there, but gradually my fluency came back. My voice felt stronger. I found myself enjoying words again, not just using them, but savoring them. But it wasn't just about exercises and habits, it was about changing how I saw myself. For a while, I had this fear that fumbling meant I was fading, that I was somehow becoming less. But that's not true. You don't lose your value just because a word escapes you. You don't stop being smart, funny, or thoughtful just because your speech hits a bump. If anything, the way you navigate those bumps patiently, kindly, with a little humor, that's where your strength really shows. I also started having more intentional conversations. Instead of quick small talk, I learned into deeper chats, talking about memories, ideas, things that mattered. And you know what? Those conversations gave me life. They reminded me that communication isn't about being perfect, it's about connection, about presence, about sharing something real, even if it's a little messy. One day, I was speaking at a small community event, just a little 10-minute talk about aging gracefully. I was nervous. I had my notes, my thoughts all mapped out. But right in the middle, I blanked. Total silence. A younger version of me would have panicked. But this time, I paused, smiled, and said, "Well, that thought just took the scenic route." The room laughed. I relaxed. And just like that, the words came back. That moment stayed with me. Not because it was perfect, but because it was real. It reminded me that thriving isn't about never fumbling, it's about how you carry yourself when you do. After that community talk, something shifted in me. I stopped seeing my speech issues as a problem and started seeing them as a part of my story, not a flaw, but a feature of this chapter in my life. And once I did that, I began to notice just how much power I still had, not just in my voice, but in how I choose to use it. I paid more attention to what I consumed mentally. I started doing small brain exercises, nothing complicated, just little games that made me think, crossword puzzles, memory challenges, even just recalling what I had for dinner 3 days ago. It sounds silly, but keeping my mind active had a noticeable effect. The more I stretched my brain, the easier it became to find my words again. And then there was conversation itself. I made a conscious effort to talk more, to call friends, to engage in little chats at the grocery store or the park. It's funny, when we feel a little shaky, our instinct is often to retreat. But the more I engaged, the less I fumbled. Not because I became perfect at speaking, but because I became more comfortable with it. I stopped fearing the pauses. I also cut myself some slack. You know, we can be so hard on ourselves, especially when we notice changes in how we function. But the truth is, everyone struggles with something. Maybe it's speech, maybe it's memory, maybe it's walking a bit slower. That doesn't make us any less capable. It just means we are human. Sometimes I would lose a word mid sentence, and instead of feeling embarrassed, I'd just smile and ask the person I was speaking to help me out. Most of the time, they did with kindness. And that connection, that shared moment of helping each other, it felt beautiful. Vulnerability can be a bridge, not a wall. Another thing that helped was music. I've always loved old songs, and I found that singing, yes, even with my creaky voice, made me feel more in tune with myself. Singing exercises the brain and the vocal cords in a way that feels natural and joyful. It reminded me that communication isn't always about being polished, it's about being present. I even joined a small reading group at the library. We take turns reading aloud. At first, I was nervous, thinking everyone would notice my little fumble and slips. But no one did. Or even if they did, they didn't care. We were all just there to enjoy the stories, to share space, to be together. And that kind of support, it's healing. Looking back, I realize fumbling didn't take anything away from me. If anything, it gave me more compassion for myself and for others. It taught me patience, presence, and a sense of humor. It reminded me to slow down and to be more intentional with my words, my thoughts, and my interactions. And in that slowing down, I started to appreciate conversations in a new way. I listened more deeply. I noticed the tone of someone's voice, the pauses, the feelings behind the words. Communication became richer, not because I spoke perfectly, but because I truly connected. The most important thing I learned through all of this is that growth doesn't stop with age, it just changes shape. In our younger years, growth looks like speed, ambition, multitasking. But after 60, it looks like grace. It's look like slowing down without giving up, staying curious without rushing, and finding strength not in perfection but in presence. I started finding joy in moments I used to overlook. A slow conversation over tea, a long story told in bits and pieces, a phone call that wandered from one topic to the next. I stopped trying to be quick and started focusing on being clear. I started choosing words with care, and when they didn't come, I simply smiled and waited. Sometimes the word arrived, sometimes it didn't. Either way, I was still me. We live in a world that glorifies speed, quick answers, fast talkers, instant replies. But I think there's a quiet power in taking your time, in choosing to pause and breathe before you speak, in letting silence do a little of the talking too. It's not a weakness, it's wisdom. If you have been feeling uncertain, if you have noticed your words slipping on your thoughts, fumbling, please hear this. It doesn't mean you're losing who you are. It just means Your communication is evolving, and like everything else in this season of life, that evolution can be beautiful. Talk to the people you trust, practice small habits, read out loud, sing in the shower, pause when you need to, laugh when you forget something, and above all, don't let a few scattered words convince you that your voice no longer matters. It does, and it does deeply. So speak up, not perfectly, but honestly. Speak up even if you fumble, especially if you fumble, because your voice, your true, real, imperfect voice, is one of your greatest gifts, not just for you, but for those around you, for your children, your grandchildren, your friends, your community. If this message resonates with you, I'd love for you to share your own experience in the comments. Let's build a space where we support one another, where we remind each other that we are not alone in these changes. Your story might just be the encouragement someone else needs today. You are still growing, still changing, still becoming. And that to me is something to be proud of. So here's to speaking your truth, even if it takes a little longer to say. Here's to living your best life at any age. And remember, your voice matters. Keep using it. Thank you and see you in the next video.